Captain's Log, Stardate 10383.22. The Argus has finally reached safe port. Admirals Brent and Nova's task force was ambushed by a superior Terran battle group led by an Etherean Harmony-class vessel and overwhelmed us. Admiral Brent ordered all ships to fall back, activating the Backlander's Aquarius-class escort. The task force scattered in an attempt to improve the surviving ship's odds of escape. The Argus managed to draw 3 Terran ships from the ambushing group. One pursuing vessel was destroyed by a torpedo barrage, but the remaining 2 harried us until our damaged warp engines gave out. The Argus's hangar bays were struck in the ambush, rendering us unable to launch our fighters. And with the Terrans jamming communications, we couldn't send out a distress signal. I was about to give the order to abandon ship, and intended to detonate the already unstable warp core as close as possible to the Terran ships, when fate, the great bird of the galaxy, or dumb luck, intervened in the form of a Varal-class cruiser decloaking and coming to our aid. The Terran ships were destroyed. However, due to damage sustained in the ambush and retreat, we were forced to eject the warp core. The IKS Chidok took the ship under tow and tracked us to an allied system. The ship will require significant dry dock time for repairs, if she can be repaired. Unfortunately, what moves the Priority 1 Empire and their pyromaniacal Feroz ally make next, we're unable to do anything about. End log.
Captain's Log, Supplemental. After the task force failed since the Terrans were waiting for us with their weapon we've never seen before in the Mirror Universe, the Braswell was ordered back to P1A headquarters after getting the order from Admiral Brent to fall back, and I was placed with the forces to help Brent, and since things went sideways with the Flaming Cat of Kronos, but thanks to some contacts in an alternate universe where I'm just a specialist in the intelligence service. Under the Watchful Eye Vanguard, one of this universe's version of the Makos, named Vanguard, we developed tech to hopefully combat the Flaming Cat of Kronos in our Etherean Harmony-class cruiser. So Round 2 would be swift.
Admiral Brent's log, stardate 103836.20. It's been a long month. The Armada is hurting. This battle has taken a toll on everyone. Here's what went down. Nova, Kat, Gojira, and myself went undercover on what we thought was a Terran detention facility. Turns out that Winters was being held on the same weapon that almost took out the whole task force. As we discovered where we were, we split into 2 teams. Kat and I went after Winters, and Nova and Gojira went to find a way to destroy this weapon. Kat and I managed to get to Winters, and Kat was able to deactivate his cell. We then made our way to engineering in order to meet up with Nova and Gojira. However, we ran into an ambush by myself. Well, my mere self, that is. After the 3 of us were captured, we were taken to the bridge, where we met the one who orchestrated this entire thing, Mir James. He talked us through his whole plan like one of those big bads in those holo novels Dr. Bashir was so fond of. However, unbeknownst to us, James was working on something that would solve everything. End log.
Exos log, stardate 103837.30. Location classified, obviously. Well, that was a month. I'll spare the flowery preamble, mostly because I spent the last several weeks speaking in clipped Terran sentences, and frankly, the habit's hard to shake. So, log entry, here we go. When Brent, Nova, Gojira, and I went undercover on what we thought was a Terran detention facility, I was feeling cautiously optimistic. I'd already spent several weeks embedded with these people, eating their food, laughing at their jokes, pretending to find their power games fascinating, rather than exhausting. One more facility, find Winters, get out, simple. It was not simple. Turns out Winters wasn't being held in a facility, Turns out Winters wasn't being held in a facility, he was being held on the weapon, literally on the weapon. And that weapon nearly turned our entire task force into space jelly, which in retrospect is very on brand for the Terrans. Why be direct when you can turn everything into a theatrical performance? So, My job was to deactivate Winter's cell, which, after weeks of passing myself off as a Terran, I'll say I developed a very convincing cold stare that helped move things along quite quickly. Winters, to his credit, looked more annoyed than relieved to see me. Typical. We made it to engineering. Almost felt like a victory. Then Mirror Brent showed up with his friends. Because of course he did. I have now met Mirror Brent. I have thoughts. I'm keeping those to myself, though. The three of us were marched to the bridge, which is where things got genuinely interesting. And by interesting, I mean infuriating and grudgingly impressive in equal measure. Mirror James was waiting. He gave us the full villain monologue, explained the plan, the trap, all of it. I'll admit the hollow novel comparison that Brent made in his log is apt. Dr. Bashir would have loved this guy. But there I was, sitting on that bridge, calculating odds, running escape scenarios, considering which Terran officer I could most plausibly intimidate into making a mistake. And the whole time, it was already handled. What Mirror James didn't know, what none of us knew, was that James back home had already seen this coming. Efficient, aggravating, very James. End log.
Admiral James's log, stardate 103847.41. Okay, so here's what happened. Computer,
Yes, Captain.
play security recording, stardate 103828.18.
Affirmative. Playing security recording now from selected stardate.
A little birdie indeed. A messenger pigeon, to be more precise. You mean a spy, yes? Oh, Admiral, you never let me have any fun. But yes, a spy. You mean this one? Number 1, show our guest a visual on our brig on the main screen. No, that's not possible. My spy is on my ship where he's trying to hack our shield codes. Did you really think that Mark would succumb so easily to your attempts to replace him? ISS Harmony, one to beam up. They can't hear you. Harmony, you idiots, respond. What did you do? Oh, you're not the only person with a flaming cat. Hunter is on your ship as we speak. Where is the weapon? There isn't one. There never was. I just said that because I knew it would get you here. Alliance ships decloak. There are hundreds, thousands of them. This is impossible. Kat sent me a transmission about your acquisition, and myself and the Alliance agreed that it should belong on our side of the interdimensional portal. So we hatched a plan with the help of our allies to capture both you and your ship. Now it's time for me to replace you. You wouldn't dare. Try me. I'll say hello to Summers for you. Have fun in the brig. No. Your prisons will never hold me. No matter how long it takes, I will get my revenge. Security, take him away. Get your hands off me. You haven't heard the last of me. Number 1, beam me to the Harmony. Set clothing to what my mirror self was wearing.
Of course. Good luck, Captain.
I'll bring you back a mirror t-shirt. Energize.
End of recording.
After that, I was able to meet up with the senior staff on the Harmony, convince the crew I was the Terran version of myself, until I got close enough to a suitable planet in the Mirror Universe to maroon them on. Then I returned home. The Tholians are now guarding the portals using web tech to keep them closed. With the acquisition of the Harmony class, we are now one step closer to defeating the Etherians. But even that might not be enough to stand up to our newest foe, the Chimerians. As for Winters, I was able to convince Summers, with the Terran's very own superweapon in hand, to let him go. As for my mirror self, he's safe in a prison where all captured Empire members have been moved to. I hope it holds. If I know my mirror self, it won't hold him forever. End log. Oh, I hate being alone. So good job I have you for company, Inquisitor. Until next time, Admiral.